So the value of this research is that most pianists don't realize that this intermediate piano repertoire exists. It has obviously interested many composers throughout history, especially in the 20th century, but there seems to be this notion that all extended piano technique and external sound effect repertoire is for highly specialized advanced pianists or weird people like me, but that notion is not true. My goal is to show that this unique repertoire not only exists, but it can be a part of the accepted mainstream repertoire for a beginning or intermediate level pianist. Let's get into some definitions here. Finding a clear-cut definition for extended piano techniques has been tremendously problematic, at least for me. For example, I really hold the Oxford Dictionary of Music as the standard of music definitions, but it discusses extended techniques and sound manipulations in the same article, but it neglects to really define extended techniques clearly. It's fuzzy. And there are a few brave authors who have attempted to define extended piano techniques in their own terms, but they all differ. And so I wrestled with this definition for many years, and I have not found any exceptions with this definition that I created. And it goes like this: extended piano techniques describes how a pianist approaches the piano in an unusual or non-traditional manner. And my definition goes further and more in depth, but that's just a very simple, basic definition. And this differs from something like a prepared piano, where a prepared piano is an object because it does not require unusual playing techniques. Rather, it's an elaborate setup where the strings have been prepared or altered in sound prior to performance. And so, yes, many times extended piano techniques and prepared piano overlap, but I'm trying to clearly define them, for better or worse. And then I found that there were these other things that people would call extended piano techniques, but they don't necessarily fit into the definition. So I had to come up with another term: external sound effects. And these are any sounds made at the piano that are not produced by using the four parts. And I discuss in different definitions that the four parts of the piano are keyboard, strings, case, and pedals. I can go through a whole bunch of history of because I started to think, well, where did all of these sounds come from? And there were arrows, a lot of arrows pointing toward Debussy. And he turned the piano's tonal palette to a new trajectory around, when we entered the 20th century. And it really took the piano playing from traditional to non-traditional playing. And in 1916, you get Percy Grainger, who wrote In a Nutshell Suite, and he used a yarn mallet to play on the inside of a piano. And right after that, you get Henry Cowell. And I'm not going to go into all of this, but he coined the term percussion piano, and I will play a Cowell piece today, so you will see that. And then his student, John Cage, he's the father of the prepared piano. But each decade that I found, in the 1900s, there was something new that was coming up. Something new was being invented. And then in the 1960s and 70s, you get Stephen Scott and Curtis Smith, and they invented the bowed piano. And I played in a bowed piano ensemble. I know Colorado University, I believe. They have an incredible bowed piano ensemble. And after thinking and researching all of this, I realized that it was Crum's seminal works in the 1970s that spawned the creation of intermediate repertoire from 1970 on. Many composers I have talked to said that they composed with these ideas because they were caught up in the momentum of compositional ideas floating in the air in the 70s.